and welcome back. This tutorial we're going to look at Microsoft Word. So I'll just look at some basic functions and stuff like that. Now Microsoft Word is used in EDSQ3, entry 3, and at level 1 as well. It's also used in the basic computers courses. So we're going to just give a brief overview of Microsoft Word. Now I've pinned Microsoft Word to my taskbar. So this is the taskbar here. If I was to right click on the icon, I could unpin that from the taskbar and you can see it's gone. If I needed to get it back, I just click on the start menu or the Windows icon on the keyboard and I can see that Microsoft Word is there. If it's not there, I could search for it in there, search for Word, and it'll come up there. Or I can go to all apps and scroll down and Microsoft Word is down there. So I'll just click that and Microsoft Word's opening and you can see that it's now on the taskbar. To pin it to the taskbar, I just right click and it says there pin to taskbar. Normally when you open up Microsoft Word for the EDSQ exams, you're going to open up a blank document, but I'm going to look at these templates actually. I'm going to look at the welcome to Word because it's got lots of text in it that we can use. But I think it's quite a good document as well actually. So here we go. I'm just going to open this up, double click, and now that will open up Microsoft Word and this document. Welcome to Word. Here we go. Personal information removal enabled. So this document is set to automatically remove personal information when saved and can impact your collaboration experience. Only keep this setting if you want. Well, I'm going to keep that. So this is a document and it's got some text in it, and we're going to brief overview of Microsoft Word now and look at some different things. Up here, let's start at the top left hand corner. So this is Microsoft Word. That's the icon. Now we've got auto save, it's off. And this here is another save button, and we can see that underneath it, it says the shortcut key. If you press Control, CTRL plus save, that'll save. This is the undo button, and this is the redo button. This icon here is if I just left click, it's to customize the quick access bar. I could add something else to it. So here we go. If I wanted to click quick print, that will add a little icon onto my quick access toolbar. And you can see that quick print's gone up there. Moving across here, it says document 1, and that means that my document has not been saved actually. Word will automatically give it a document name, and then it's up to you to save it and then give it a specific name that you want. And bearing in mind that EDSQ, the examining board will tell you the name of the file that they want it to be saved as. We've got a search function, and then coming over here, I think that's the My Benefits, whatever that is, that's the minimize button, maximize button, and then that would close it down there. So as we move down, this area here is what's called the ribbon. And the ribbon's got loads of different icons on it, different sections. And now we've got different tabs, and each tab has got a different ribbon. So if I just click on the Insert tab, we can see that there's a different ribbon here. And if you just move along, you can see that there's different icons and different things that it allows you to do for each particular instance. If we move down to the bottom, we've got the information bar here, and it says page 1 of 8, so that's 8. We've got 8 pages on here. We've got 975 words, and we're using English United States Dictionary. If I was to click that, I'm going to change to English United Kingdom and then set as the default there. Yes, because I want it UK. Okay. Text predictions on. Okay. And then moving across here, we've got different views. But then here we've got a slider that tells you the view that you've got. So if you've got minus and plus. So you can zoom in and out, or you can just left click and then drag it backwards and forwards. Alternatively, if you hold down the CTRL key, and if you're using a mouse, you can scroll in and out with your mouse that way. Okay, and I think that's quite handy. If we come across now and look at some of these different functions on here, the ones that we may use certainly at EDSQ, let's just have a look. I'm just going to highlight this paragraph area of text here, and all I've done is I've just left clicked in front of unlike, left click and hold my mouse button down, and then drag that down there. So I've got that text selected. Now it tells me that this text is called, the font is Ciego Body. If I just click here, I can change it and watch what happens to the font as I move down. You can see the font moving. So here we go. Let's go to Arial, and you can see that the font now has changed and it's now Arial. This is a size 11. If I wanted to, I could use these two buttons, and if I press this one, it'll increase the font size, and this decreases the font size. This here is to embolden it, so I just click that, or Control and B, and it'll go bold, and you can see it's now in bold. I can put it in italics. I can also underline it. If I wanted to, I could strike through, and you can see that I've struck through, but I'm not going to do that. I'll stop it being underlined on there. And this is for lower script or subscript and sans script, so above it. So for example, if I went to old school now and then pressed this one, superscript, it puts it up, sans script puts it down, and then we'll go back to normal. This one here changes the font. Let's just have a look. I'm going to highlight that again. This here, if I just click this, I can either change it to sentence case, so watch what happens. Nothing. I can change it all to lowercase. I can change it all to uppercase. I nearly said uppercase then. I can capitalize each word, or I can toggle cursor. Now, if I want to go back, I could just do the undo button or press Control and Z. So I'm just going to press Control and Z, and it goes back. Or I can just press this undo, or I can just left click on the, and that'll take me all the way through to, let's go back to italic there. So you can go backwards and forwards that way. This one here changes the font color. So we just click there, and I can change the font color to yellow if I wanted, or green. You may get asked, you will get asked in your EDSQ exam to have a number of different font colors. Don't do this one. This is the highlight tool. Imagine if you're highlighting text in a book, this is the highlight tool. So for example, this highlights some piece of text for me there and puts it into yellow. Or I could change the color, could put it into green. If you're asked to change the text color, do not use the highlight function. Okay, let's just go Control and Z, I'll do that. Let's have a look now at if we've got to write maybe a heading. So I'll just use this highlight that there. And this toggle button adds text and effects, so I can go there. I can make it bigger if I wanted. So there's all sorts of different things that I can do. So let's just move that down. Now, if I wanted this, this is now left aligned. So if we look here, this is the alignment button. So at the moment it's left aligned. If I go in the middle, center aligned. If I go on the right, it's right aligned. Or this one aligns it fully across the pages. So it's probably better doing it with this one. So if I highlight there and then press the fully justified, you can see that it uses all the bits there. For at EDSQ level, One, you may be asked to change your line spacings. So if we highlight the text, if I click on this button, I can see that my line spacing options, and watch what happens to my lines. They're getting bigger and bigger. So line spacing options. So at the moment, I've got 2 lines separating them. Okay. Another thing that you will be asked to do for EDSQ is to insert a table and also to maybe use bullet points. Let's just show how you can insert bullet points. So we'll use these ones here. And bullet points is up here. So if I just click that, it's now added a bullet point. If I was to click this toggle switch, I could change my bullet point. So I've got there. To get an additional bullet point, all I need to go is, so let's say I wanted it there. I just enter on my keyboard and that's moved it down. Okay, grammatical errors there. If I wanted to move this one so that it becomes indented from the one above it, I'll just click on the indent button here and you can see it moves across, or I could go back. Okay, we'll look at adding a table now. So I'm just going to enter there, move down. And if I wanted to add a table, I'd just go into the Insert tab, click Table, and then here it asks me how many columns and rows I want. So I'm just going to click 3 columns, 3 rows, and then I could add the table there. Okay. Now to make sure I've got my table set up properly, or the line spacing as well, I'm just going to use remove space after paragraph there, so it makes it all neat. You might have to mess around and make sure that you've got it right. To change your columns of your paragraph, so I just go in here, can you see how it's moved? I just move that across, move that across, and in here I could put the time, date, and then I'm just using the tab key there, event. I could highlight that row there, make it bold, bring them in the middle, and then the fill button here, just click there, and then I'm going to change that fill button there. To add a new row, there's different things that you can do. I can either just press the tab key, and watch what happens now. Press the tab key again, it goes to another one. I could click at the end of that row, so I'm outside it, and then just press enter. Or I could right click in that column and then insert row below. I can also insert column to the right or the left, or whatever I wanted to do. I think that's probably enough for just as an introduction to Microsoft Word, just to get it sorted out. But don't forget, you would then need to save your document. So I'm just going to, if you was to go File, Save As, then you would browse. And I'm going to put this back in my desktop with my digital folder. And I'm just going to call it Welcome to Word. There we go, Welcome to Word. Save that. And you'll be able to see that it's now saved, because when I go back to my document, do you want to also, no, I'm just not going to say that. Welcome to Word, and it's saved. So I'm going to use this one just as an introduction so that I can show you how it's done. And that was my first session on Microsoft Word. Hopefully I've not confused you too much, and that's been all right.